Oh, that was quick. Hey Pat, can you hear me okay? Okay, that's great. Thank you. So I'll let the guys get in a bit before I start talking. Um, Anything you guys want me to cover while I'm on stream today? I'm planning on going from half hour to an hour, um, and cover different topics, whatever you guys want to cover. I'm looking up at the clock. Guess I'll took this down a little, so maybe that looks a little better. So, yeah, so I'm making over here, uh, making minion color um, haribo, yellow and yellow and blue, black extrusion. So it looks pretty cool. Um, just started on this TTG is so shiny when it's on the camera. Um, but that's the power supply box. Working on wiring up the power supply now, and got the Rambo back, so I'm happy with that. Um, I got a new pop filter, so that should cut down on the breathing noise and all that other jazz while I'm here. I decided not to print anything tonight because didn't want to get the noise in the background, so I figured this is gonna pick me up a little bit better. Um, yeah, so basically, what was I gonna talk about? Bond tech. That's where I wanted to go. So a couple of things, I guess. So a couple of things that I wanted to kind of talk about. Since I have, I haven't really streamed it in a bit for a bit. I wanted to kind of go through and kind of update you guys on what I've been doing, and what's changed, what the plans are going forward. Basically, I'm still trying to clean up the basement and get the place set up. Um, it's getting there. I'm cleaning up bit by bit, getting rid of some of the junk, reorganizing the office space that I have down here. This space right now where I'm in is actually sort of the rec room, I guess, or the common area for the basement. And behind me over there is where I usually listen to my audio system. So the um, kind of want to get it out of here and over that way is I'll take you guys on a tour later. Over that way is where I used to do all the audio stuff. So what I used before I did 3D printing, one of the things I did was I hand assemble DACs and audio headphone amplifiers and so on. So I was heavily into that, and basically that office has a soldering station and benchtop power supply and all the other jazz. My servers and my computing stuff is also in there, but that needs to be cleaned out. So basically all this stuff with the printer is going to get into that room, so it makes it easier to set up a backdrop as well for the streaming. So that should happen this summer, over the um, over the course of a few weeks. Yeah, Jonas. I'll get to that. I think I owe everybody an explanation of why I was away. I'll get to that. The what I'll do is actually let me finish updating the rest of the stuff, and I'll get to that. The I'm working hard with Filaments SDA to get some new colors in for the PLA and PETG. I sort of told them that the standard colors are great, but we kind of wanted some um, specialty colors and stuff like that, and also the gray. They really only have one gray. The I wanted them to have more gray and more variety. So I talked to them about it. They said that they're gonna work on it for the next 2 3 months to try to get some other colors in. Um, but for specialty colors, they said if we get a group together for 24 rows, they'll be willing to do a short run for us. So that's something that I kind of want to bring up with you guys is if there's any colors that we sort of want as a group. I'm more than willing to work with them on lowering that 24 row limit. See if they can get down to 18 rows or 16 rows, and then that's not a lot. I mean, 60 kilos between, let's say, eight of us is going to be two kilos a piece. That's not a lot for filament. And or if you could even probably do a 24 if we get enough interest. So if there's a specialty color or a color that's not readily available and you guys want it, we just have to send them the code, the Pantone code, and they'll match it. So um, either that or what we could do is we if we keep using the same coupon code that I've been passing around, if we can show them we have enough volume, we can actually get them to lower the price because right now it's 10%. I'm trying to get them to get down to 15% off so that it gives a little bit more incentive for us to buy from them. I really haven't had much issue with the filament. I mean, a lot of guys have been using it. Has been happy with it, and they ship pretty quickly. They manufacture all the stuff here in Toronto, so I don't really see any issue with that. Yeah, let's just get the kind of the elephant out of the way. I guess a lot of people are asking me where I've been away from Slack. A couple of things happened. I think the the two big things that happened over the last few weeks was one is um, as you guys know, I have mentioned it a few times on stream as well. Is that um, I play PS4 game called Destiny. I think a lot of people do as well on Xbox One and so on. And that game is coming to a close. They're coming out with part two, and right before the in September. So right about a month ago, they started this new campaign where sort of the triumphant um, they have a set of goals or achievements that you have to do to sort of get 100% achievement in the game. So I haven't played that game for at least a year now, so I kind of got back into it, and I was playing it very heavily. I mean, I was playing it basically as much free time as I had on hand to finish up the 100%. And I'll show you guys maybe since I have it here anyway. Uh, uh, I think it's Auto Triumph or Age of Triumph or something like that. Yeah, Destiny. There we go. So what they had was they have this T-shirt, Age of Triumph T-shirt. So what happened is that the actual price is $777,000, but if you play through the game and get 100%, they send you a code that knocks off the $777,000 and brings down to $25. So effectively, only people who have achieved every single goal in the game gets to buy this T-shirt. So um, I wanted the T-shirt, so I spent all my waking moments playing that game, and that's first thing is, but that's what I did and also it was a sort of a stress reliever for me was to sort of get away from all the uh, I guess all the drama that was been happening on Slack. That gets into the second thing, which is I guess it was my like Haribo was basically my first major end-to-end accomplishment in GitHub, and to sort of release the project and letting it kind of mature by itself was hard. And basically, I was seeing that there's a lot of conflicts and there's a lot of different opinion, and I felt that I was kind of losing control, which is normal. I mean, like as any large project, I should have learned that I need to sort of let go. And the other thing is like some of the stuff. I guess we had some disagreements with some people like let's say Ryan on what's best for the project and so on. And it was really getting to me. To be honest, I was sort of getting a little bit depressed, and I wasn't really happy. And I thought that the best course of action was kind of take a step back. Also, like the thing nonstop since we started the Slack of spending 12 13 hours a day on just regular support and volunteering my time was taking a toll on it. So um, on my sort of taking up a lot of free time, and it kind of took away from starting the next project and so on. So I just decided, you know what, like let's see if I could take a step back and let the rest of the mins and let the rest of the gang sort of take up the slack. Uh, like a better word is not pun intended, but take up the slack to see if I could free up my time to do other things. I had taken on a few projects that was also falling behind, like the MK42 clone. That one has been on the books for a while. I mean, I kind of kept it in wraps. I didn't really want um, to announce it until we were pretty sure that we had a working model. So me and Matt on the chat, we went back and forth a few times. We had a lot of samples and testing and so on, and we had finally figured out kind of like I guess we could call it secret sauce and the secret procedure on how to make the heat bed. So we needed time, and I wasn't putting enough effort in it. So um, I sort of took that time away as well to work with him on it. That's why we started the group buy, and shortly we'll be announcing like where you can actually buy the heat beds, because the group buy thing is good for within the chat, but we needed some kind of web store. So we're gonna go with Tindy. I'll send the link later, but basically Tindy, there's a lot of good stuff on Tindy actually. So I'll share the link to you guys later. But basically, Tindy has all sorts of kind of maker stuff that um, you could you could buy. And the reason why I found Tindy was actually if you guys ever need a RAM board um, that is not made in China that's going to blow up in your face, is to buy this one, Rams 1.4 SB Premium. Basically, this has premium connectors. All the stuff is legit, and um, you know correct the connectors and transistors and so on. And for $30, is really reasonable for a board that is not going to burn down your house. So I found these guys, and then after that, I found that I can actually run it like Etsy, basically have my own store. So one of the things we did was we added um, the clone as the one of the items we were selling on Tindy. So this is where we're going to be handling the sales going forward. um, is to basically handle the sales to attendee. One of the things is it works like AliExpress or eBay, where they hold your money in escrow, and once we ship and we give the tracking number to them and they confirm delivery, they release the money. So it's a pretty safe way to run the store, because it will get paid, and you get your goods and so on. The other thing that I have on the store is basically I'm trying to sell these printed parts for the Haribo to sort of fund the next round of research on the Haribo Cube. So I'll put this link up there. But there's a lot of interesting things on here for other projects as well. Like I think I found the other thing was a ATX breakout board. Yeah. So um, you guys ever want to sort of have ATX power supply and then break it out to uh, benchtop power supplies and stuff like that. Like this is a little bit expensive, but they have other ones that work just as well. So there's a tons of stuff on here. Like this is $15. I think this is from the same company that made that RAM for it, and you can use this to get USB power, um, and that's your standard benchtop power supply power. So if for $15, I'd rather buy this and try to hack something together. So there's tons of stuff. I went through this site, and it's like there's so much stuff on there that you kind of want to buy everything off of here. So um, like there's a lot of 3D printing stuff. So, like I was thinking, this is a pretty cool clock. I think one of the things we should do is probably make this clock as one of our projects. But anyway, kind of diverging from there. Um, the so I guess I'm just rambling on about it. Um, that's pretty much updates the last few weeks. I mean, I've been away either resting, getting caught up on just kind of de-stressing myself, and then uh, get caught up in that game, so finish up the triumph, and then basically generally researching on Haribo Cube. So I think a few guys I talked to about it already. Um, the decision was made that we're probably going to move away from using a PCB heat bed, mainly because we want to kind of go big. So we can go 300 by 300, and it'd be tough to get a working PCB heat bed, and also PCB heat beds. We will need to kind of have a manufacturer and so on. So one of the uh, one of the places that we found was on I think it was Midwest Metals. Um, let's see, I think I probably go off the Voan site. The Voan is one of the printers that has been kind of like what I wanted to build, but on their bomb, they list a company for the um, maybe not them, maybe somebody else. I'm trying to remember now. They list Campbell, but I think it was anyway. I went with yeah, that's the one. So these guys, they sell what we call jig plates. I think I mentioned that to you guys a few times. Basically, Mix 6 is a flat aluminum cast aluminum plate. It's going to be a lot more flat. Like the tolerance on a jig plate is very high, because what they use a jig plate for is on a CNC machine, they use it as a reference point on the bed, or as a um, to make a jig. So that's why it's called jig plate. But basically, that's the reference, right? So what I did was I went with a quarter inch and a quarter inch or 3/8. So quarter inch is pretty thick for heat bed. So you could see that, like, you could actually go for high tolerances on the cuts. But basically, for a 12 by 12 jig plate, quarter inch, I thought it was about 25 $30 for a jig plate. And this is Midwest metal. And basically, the idea is that you're gonna get a jig plate, mixed six plate, and use a silicon heater. Silicon heaters are cheap. They run on 24 volts. I think the G Max uses that uses a silicon heater, so it's pretty set to practice to use one of those. A lot easier. Like they do the same thing. Like basically, it's a mid plate. They use a very thin one though. Like I went with quarter inch because basically for structure as well. But they a silicon heater, and then they stick the I think this is it. Like we'll use something like this, the silicon heater, and then this basically stick your build plate, your build surface on top of that. Either you could use, some guys use glass. I think G-Max uses glass on top of the surface. I think probably one of these shows it. They use glass as a interface layer, and then you put your PI or your build tack on top of that. Haven't really decided yet, but the idea is that we're going to be going towards a silicon heater versus a PCB. I did get a bunch of PC, 300 by 300 PCBs that was kind of end of life from a company that made them. Do I have it? Hang on, let me see. Yeah, I have the 200 by 200 version. Is called Helios, and basically is pretty thick. I mean, you could see like, it's not gonna focus. But you can see it's pretty thick, and really can't bend this. Like it's pretty thick. Penucat, I think it's called Penucat Industries. They made this. It's pretty nice, mainly because there's got a lot of nice little features. Like here is where you put the thermistor, and they have contacts, and those contacts actually got traces that come out of here. So basically, instead of having a wire that runs from the back towards your controller, you get the wires off of here, and then you started the thermistor there. So it is a very interesting bed. They then It was one of the first to have like 9.8 point mounting, and the inside square is actually 200. So this is slightly bigger than 200. So you don't actually lose any space due to the mounting. So I got a whole bunch of these 200 by 200. So if you guys actually build smaller printers, feel free to hit me up with them. I think I'll probably pay like $25, $30 for these. I have about 10 of these because they were clearing them out. I think they still sell them, but I got them at a deal because I bought them at like I bought 10 of them. So if you guys want to build smaller printers or portable ones, these are great because like I said, it's like you see there's no flex, it's perfect flat, and the the finish on it is great. I mean, like I think it's not gonna be as advanced as the MK42, but it'll do the job. And basically, what they did was they scaled that up to 300 by 300. So I bought the last 6 or 7 300 by 300 ones. I have it in the cabinet. Next time I move the stuff out of the way, I'll grab it out. But it's like basically just a scaled up version 300 by 300. I'll probably try those, but it's the ones are 24 volts, and I think they discontinued it because it was taking way too long to warm up. So it'll work, but for PLA and stuff. But if we do PTG, anything that requires high temps is probably not the best ideal surface. So probably not gonna go there with that. See if maybe I could go to that site and see if they still sell it. Any questions while I'm trying to look for this site? Oh yeah, that's the other thing too. The real reason why I want to support these guys as well is because they're a U.S. company and they make a controller that is um, SmoothieWare compatible. They are supporting SmoothieWare, um, paying into the project and then contributing and stuff like that. So there's a lot of controversy in the SmoothieWare firmware site. It's basically there's a company MKS I think in the AliExpress. They basically stole like they claim they stole the design of the SmoothieWare board and then not paying back into the project by sponsoring, and then also not, and then they're changing the design and not releasing the source. So there's a lot of controversy on that. But with these guys, is what they did is they have um, came up with two interesting products. The first one was I just showed you guys was a X3, which is let me just get a larger photo. So this is basically a ramps compatible board. They basically built the whole board, kind of like the Rambo. So you could think of this as their version of Rambo. But one thing is nice is that they give you different options for the plugs, and they have these add-on boards that you could add on to the top. So this one breaks out the fans and heat beds and so on, and they have ones for Ethernet and all the other kind of interesting options. You can actually use this if you use like the regular Marlin, it'll work just fine. The X3. The boards itself are very well made. I have a few. Like I said, next time I can show you guys. Um, the I bought a few of these just to kind of support them. See, that's the heat bed that I have, um, that I was showing you guys before. So the other interesting thing is they have this thing called Rearm, which they had it on Kickstarter. Rearm is basically if you have the Rams board, you take the Rams board off the Arduino and you put it on top of the Rearm board. This is a SmoothieWare compatible board that will utilize the Rams board, um, so like all the drivers and all the other stuff. You put it on top of this, and basically you went from 8-bit to 32-bit. You use all your existing Palulu drivers and so on. So basically, like this is what it is. You unplug the your RAM port, you stick it on top of your VRAM, and instantly, I would assume you already have everything wired already, so that you kind of just went plug and play up to 32-bit, flash your firmware, and you're ready to go. So um, I know it doesn't really apply to us, but for $45, that is a pretty neat option. $45, and these, if you have an older printer, um, the this is where you want to go. But they also have a full, I think it's the X5. I can find it now. I think yeah, X5 GT and X5. It's basically their version of the smoothie board, right? So um, they kind of took a different approach. Is that they basically put the Paloo drivers separately, so you could actually change them if you wanted to. So um, I'll have a look at that once I get past this part. Uh, their stuff is top notch, and in US, and for what it is a great option. I mean, there's a few different ones. I think the other ones are basically gonna have more outputs, like for more extruder output and so on. So really, you just kind of have to kind of pick the board that's gonna work for us. I haven't really decided on the board yet because I heard. Oh, I gotta show you guys this. Their graphics controller is actually so cool that, see that was so cool. Like, um, I think they have one of the best looking um, displays out there. Like, so you could put that into like any enclosure and it'll look cool. Like it just that, right? Um, so I heard that Ultimate Machine, yeah, they got the Ultimate. The Ultimate Machine is making their own 32-bit version of the board. So this we go there. Hope I get the right site. Um, was it this one, Pat? You know about? Yeah. So the funny thing is, if I search for that, I think I was told that. Let me confirm that before. Yeah. So here says, if you guys can't read it, maybe I can make the font a little bit bigger. If I can know how to do that. Zoom. Okay, that's better. So basically, they said they intend to support the 32-bit, their 32-bit firmware fork of Marlin Do for Do, right? Here's the problem. If you go to the Marlin Do website, it basically says the story is over, or we're not making any updates. And that was over 2 years ago. So, yeah. I don't know how much you trust the Ultimate Machine to sort of honor and keep maintaining their branch or their fork when the main developer said fuck it. Like they left the building, right? Like see, they left the building. He's not making any more updates. So um, and is whereas Smoothiewear and Duet has already been out and they have a good following for $170. Yeah, I will not be taking this plunge. And yeah, I love that glow in the dark, man. Like, here's a problem. You think we have problems with melted connectors? This guy has what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 of those pins. Like, is I don't know if I want to take a risk with this many. And if you look at it, right, here's a problem. Like, it's got connectors coming out in all four directions as well as up. So how did they expect you and this one, these ones come out at an angle in different than this one. So how did they expect you to make a enclosure or make a mount for this? I mean, you got cables coming out in all directions. Like they haven't really thought this through, right? And um, some of these like are just weird. Like the ST card slot is right here, which is recessed it from the side. So, like you can't really enclose this without like losing access to it. So, yeah, I don't know. Like it's just weird, right? Yeah, the rest of this we're not gonna really care about anyway. Like the mini ramble. Um, yeah. So to be honest, I'm on the fence. I mean, what I'm looking at is I think there's gonna be there's gonna be a choice to be made, and I think Smoothiewear is probably where I would lean towards, mainly because um, I had looked at. You guys gotta tell me how to get rid of this stupid cloud thing. Um, that you told me mention the thought. I wanted to go with Smoothiewear mainly because I know that some of the guys will have issues paying good money for a controller, and I don't have a philosophical um, rejection or objection to using MKS on AliExpress. So it ends up being on this German site. Like I don't have a problem with people using MKS base, which ends up being way cheaper than buying a actual smoothie board or like a officially sponsored one. I understand, not everybody has the resources, but the thing is that you do get what you pay for. I mean, if you look at this, these green connectors are not rated for the high current that we'd be putting through it. These little guys, I don't trust those at all. Um, these white ones will really low amperage, right? So, and they wear over time and they pop out, and so you do get what you pay for. Um, Honestly, I think what we were showing you before is probably the way to go. Is um, you know, the X5, I think, is where I would say, or if you get an Amos board, I think that's probably the cheapest way to do it. Is basically pay $45 for a rearm board, and I think on Hindi we were just looking at it was like $30 for a Rams board. Combined it's like 65, $70. I think that's probably the cheapest way to go, and it's easy. I think that's a good way to go. I think probably the reference build is going to have either the X5 or rearm with the Rams board. That gives people options. Um, so at least now we got the other bit out of the way. The last thing that yeah, I think so, John. I think that's a happy medium. And these guys, like I said, is in the U.S. I really want to support them as an American, so I think that works. So, the heck, we just go with these guys and um, like land board for $12. So, things like that is so not a lot of people need the land connectivity. Some people do. So it really depends on the individual. Um, and the rounding out the electronics, the steppers. Um, how would I how would I do this without giving out all the information? Um, I'm trying to work with IS on the motors for the sort of the up upper range, sort of the um, money is no object built, I guess. The I don't know if they have it on the web. Let's see if they have it on the website. But IGES makes motors. I did not know that. So um, they do have motors, and um, they also sell the lead screws. So one of the things that we could get from them is the stepper motors and the integrated lead screw, but expensive. I mean, okay, so I should kind of put that into perspective. When you look at stuff from China, um, everything else seems expensive. But back when we were getting the steppers from Baloo and stuff like that, $25 for a motor is reasonable. Now that we think about it now, it's like, oh my god, you paid more than $10, you overpaying. Well, it's just because they're dumping all the motors, right? So it makes it hard to do comparison. But I think 25, $30 for a motor um, from IGES, I think is reasonable. And I think the one with the lead screw and the polymer what they call that thing, the this black piece. I forgot whatever they call it on the lead screw that moves it up and down. I forgot what they call it now. But the basically they quoted me like $150 per motor. So that's pretty expensive. That's $300 for two motors with lead screws. That goes up to 350 mm. on the height. Um, yeah, not everybody's going to be paying $300 for those motors, but you know for um, for like see um, they sell these motors and they sell them with lead screws in them. So we could get them with lead screws. I don't know if they actually show. Um, I'll get the part numbers later. I think um, the other thing is that they also have a pretty good engineering program. So if I approach them with an issue or with something that I need solved, they will help me with it. So um, maybe we'll go into some investigation about using linear rails instead of rods. I'm not sure. I'm trying to get a hold of the rep and talk to him about it, see if he can send me some samples. But at let's say we need 1, 2, 3 motors. You need at least two. Yeah, so you need two motors at 25 weeks or $30, and then two motors at 300. That's like $360 worth of motors. That's a lot of money for motors. So we probably end up going with kind of like a reference built with some good quality Chinese lead screw, more near the 17s. Then I don't care how much I paid. Here's I guess printer built. I think that's the way to go. Is give people a choice. Like basically list both sides and then let them choose what they want to do. Same thing with a lot of other things. I think I learned my lesson the first time is not everybody's not going to follow the reference book exactly, so sort of have to um, kind of go with giving people choices. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna get to that. The brackets. So don't know if I show it. Show it. So I wish like it was easier to show this because it's zoom in a bit. Okay, so maybe this shows it better. Sorry, guys. Let me just go. Okay, here we go. So they have two different types of corner brackets. Um, so there's two different types of three-way corner brackets because a cube you have three intersecting extrusions that meet at the corner. So either we use um, this type, which is a cube with access holes for the corners and also alignment blocks, or we use this sort of machine. I think it's cast actually. Don't quote me on that. I think this is cast. Cast ones with um, kind of like a quarter circle style, and it does have alignment blocks. The difference, here's the thing, the difference is that it's kind of counterintuitive. This one, you think a square cube would have more strength, but the square cube is only rated at 999 newtons for a low allowable load, and the quarter circle one is actually 1862, so it's almost double the strength. Both of them will include the screws and will include the covers, so both of them have covers. But I think we're gonna list both of them. This cube one at the lower Newton is $4, 450. At the higher 1800 Newton is $9. So keep in mind that you need 8 of them just to build the cube itself. And if I have other connections you need to make, you probably end up buying either the two-way or more three-ways to connect the cross beams. So you're probably looking, conservatively speaking, you're probably looking at $100. Also, if you get the higher rated one for corners, and probably $60 or so for the lower end corners. So yeah, that's the unfortunate thing about it. Is these corners are expensive mainly because they are a specialty item. The Let me just show this one here. Yeah. So the nice thing about these is that if we go with the rounded one, like the quarter round, we go with these quarter round extrusions. Because if you think about it, right, the outside two edges, unless you guys gonna be installing like camera mounts or other stuff, the two outside extrusions are not used anyway, and they end up being dust traps or debris traps anyway. Quarter rounds like this will make the printer look a little bit nicer in terms of aesthetics. So if I could get away with using quarter rounds for the at least the cube itself, it'll look really good. So I think I'll probably end up just telling people to get this style, the quarter round style corners. You pay that once, and you don't unless you're gonna buy multiples of the printers, you don't buy that once anyway. So it's not gonna be that bad of an investment. The quarter rounds, I think, yeah. See, we get the single radius. So something like this, where um, the two inside extrusions where we would bolt stuff on is still going to be the same. It's the outside basically is rounded edges. Um, Still pretty good for what it is, and I think we could do it. We go with that. Like I think that works. So this is a specialty one because this is a 60 by 30. So this is for adapting different um, dimensions. So there's a whole bunch of them. I mean, it's like I think Rob was telling me how confusing it is to go on the Misumi site and look around for stuff. So yeah, it gets confusing. So um, I'll have a bomb. I think is probably gonna be easier. So I have a cold, so probably be coughing a little bit. One of the things I think we saw last time from Bondtech, when they came on Slack chat was um, this thing. I think we saw this before. Is um, Bondtech Mini for Cruiser i3 MK2 gear set and a bunch of other stuff, but it's the drop-in replacement for the extruder. So I don't know if everybody has tried it, but and I need to kind of figure out whether or not that mini gear is the same ones that we're gonna get with the multi-material upgrade. If it is, then golden, because I'm gonna have four of those, and I'm gonna take them apart just for the gears and stick them into these extruders and use it because it's really good for flexible filament and stuff like that, and there's less jams because basically it's gripping from both ends of the filament instead of just being one pushing against the bearing. So hopefully that works out and go with that. So there's all these mounts on Pontech site. You just go on to I think is Podex freebies. Yeah, Podex freebie STL files, and you get it off of there. What was I going to talk about? Talked about Beyond, talked about IGUS. Oh yeah. So the I think the move to Mattermost was relatively smooth. I think after 3 days now, 4 days now, we have almost all the regulars are moved over. We had two guys who held out. One decided that he's gonna start his own Discord group, which I joined, and there's not much happening there. The other one sort of bitch and moan about moving, and then ask us to transfer ownership of Slack to them, and we said no. Um, we're just gonna close it down so that basically, I think in like 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, we can close it down and basically force everybody over to Mattermost. There's some growing pains. I sort of missed a lot of the emoji that we have accumulated over the over the months, over the last few months. We have accumulated a lot of emojis, and the Slackbot. Seriously, Marvin is like brain dead retard cousin of the Slackbot. none of the gist is actually matching up with what we want to search for, etc. I think I'm not sure if you guys got the Octoprint status chat channel working, but we're missing that. The main interface is lacking. There's no easy way to ban people. I guess they really didn't think of it as a public community type thing. Is all wide open. Like it is, they could remove people from the team, but they could join back. It's kind of weird. Yeah, and, I think just some growing pains. I think we'll get through that. Um, but overall, I'm happy because like that means I don't have to go and try to clean up the files anymore. Everybody's sort of spending their time on it, and it's been pretty good. Um, oh, okay. So the Slack group, the occupant Slack hookup is working. Okay. Yeah. The so I've been trying to convince Fish to try to see if we could run that instance in a US based DigitalOcean instead of the UK one. He's saying I don't like. He's saying UK. He's based in UK, so it's no issue for him. But it's issue for us because the loading speed for the images are really bad, especially when you go into like some channels like you know not safe for work. Uh, when the images pop up, it just takes forever on anything that you load there, so it's not that good. I think we need to sort of get that fixed up, but like I said, that's just regular teething pains, right? So, oh yeah, I wanted to share with you guys. I gotta keep remembering to put these links on the description later, but one of the things that I found a really useful one. I don't know if I can still find. Yeah, this one. So,
hey guys, James Saldy here.
Basically, what this guy did is he goes and shows you how to make a dovetail joint on a pot, and how you would sort of um, mold that into a joint and um, use it as a toolpath. And he basically sliced this weapon into two pieces, actually four pieces in this case, and all four pieces are joined together using dovetails. And he shows you how to do it parametrically so that you can adjust it for spacing and adjust it for offset. So I use this to slice a model that I was printing for a 3D Hub customer, and it works really well. And it's pretty easy to do. So um, I was like a Fusion 360 idiot, so this worked really well for me to kind of have a tool that cuts the part into multiples. It works really well. Um, I'll always try to remember to post that link onto the. I'll do that now. Let's do that now. There you go. So we have that on there. Put this link there too while we're here so that you guys have it. I think if you guys are interested in building any printers, I think the Rearm is a really good option for that. So there. Got another 15 minutes. So why don't we kind of let you guys ask questions or kind of open it up to the floor and see what you guys want to talk about, and then we go from there. You guys are quiet though. Oh yeah, so the this is the bed that I was talking about, the 200 by 200 version. Comes with this insulation material for the bottom, so it keeps the heat in. and that's a comparison between the thickness of the the Helios and the Chinese knockoffs you get. So you can see it's quite a bit thicker. It's almost twice as thick. So, and I like the fact that he uses this idea for strain relief. Basically, the cable pivots on the terminal, so it doesn't have that binding issue, and it doesn't come out because it's a wing terminal. So it works well, and like it's got beefy contacts. Um, John's asking if all your Haribos are working as well as expected. Um, to be honest, I think they work. I would give it like 85, 90% so far. Uh, hey Donald, how did the surgery go? I'm not sure if you talked about it. If you're feeling better, I hope you're feeling better. Um, yeah, I think we will do the same thing. I think the first 20 or 30 cubes, we'll make number plates for them to kind of commemorate um, the first kind of early adopters. I think is something to reward them with it. Um, if you're taking on the risk of putting a new printer, I think let's do that. But anyway, going back to what I was saying was one of the things I had a lot of issue with is the if I were to do it again, I would look at using linear rails for the Y because you can see there's a little bit of play on the bushings or the bearings, whichever one you use, because it needs that for the tolerance, right? So um, the I would go with like some kind of linear rail system for the Y if I was to do it again. The X actually works really well. I don't think you need linear rails for the X. It's just extra cost and weight that you don't need. But definitely on the bed, I would look for a better bed mounting solution and a probably like a single linear rail with sort of like the TiVo style moving bed, so that we don't have this issue with the rods. Otherwise, like everything works as like C said, everything works as I expected. Still going strong. Um, like I'm using uh, like 2 kilo. See that I designed that spool holder to hold a 2 kilo filament SCA rolls. Exactly the size that it needs to be. I don't really have a lot of problem running that roll on top. It's been working pretty well. Putting a lot of PTG. Um, yeah, I mean, overall, I'm happy with how it came out. With the effort that we put into it. Um, there's always going to be something you feel that you could do better. There's always going to be something that you can improve on, and I'm hoping that um, the project lives on and people kind of contribute to it. And I think it is because we sort of have like at least 3 or 4 versions of the Meanwell PSU mount, and people are coming up with like camera mounts and stuff like that, and Raspberry mounts. I think Patrick was successful in putting on the multi material kit on top with the rails. I'm really happy with where it's going and the contributions. I have to kind of say that the Haribo Cube is not a replacement for Haribo. I mean, is that the thing is, this particular style of the Haribo with the moving bed and kind of like keeping with the i3 theme is gonna be there. I mean, I don't think is um, there's gonna be audiences for this, and it's not gonna go away. The cube is gonna be a little bit pricier in terms of because we need more extrusions, we need more corners. There's more wads. Like um, we're using 10 mil rods and 8 mil for the cross. Probably end up for the speed wise, probably end up with a Bolden. So direct drive is going to be an option. I think the reference build is going to be Bolden. We have to kind of look at that because Bolden is going to be allow us to go faster. So things like that is overall going to add cost to the haribo cube. So the way I see it is we're going to position the haribo once we self-source all the stuff like the MK42 clone and the Pinder and the motors and how to not depend on the upgrade kit. That will stand on its own as the sort of the entry level, into the haribo family. Then we have the haribo cube, which is for like ABS or like something that that requires an enclosure, and also a little bit more pricier and like maybe 32-bit versus like 8-bit. So we're not gonna try to position both of them in the same segment. We're gonna go try to hit the different market segments, so that we kind of have different we address the different needs because um, the problem with the cube also is you got to think about all the other stuff you have to buy. Like, we built the extrusion frame. Great. You need plexi or you need MDF or you need something for the sides. And you need doors. You need, like, if you're going to vent it out, you need, like, we need to work on how do we mount the carbon filters and so on. There's going to be a lot of more complications to that. So that adds cost to the printer itself. So like I said, is not a. I don't think we're going to position as a beginner or a first printer. It's going to be like, when you're ready to go to a higher plane or a higher usage pattern, then I think that the cube makes sense. I think that I kind of leave it at that. I think that's the idea. Um, I had looked at those. So John, like I did look at those before. The the problem is like if I don't have the way to get it out of here, but hopefully I get out from here. Yeah, I think I remember seeing this. See the it's the same idea, right? Or uh, as the FSRs I was talking about before. The Just to give a background on what I'm talking about, basically, anything like BL Touch or Pinder or any proximity probe, the issue is you offset, right? We've been through this so many times. Your Pinder has a certain height and a certain offset position from the actual EF E3D. So we're always playing around with the height of the Pinder versus E3D, and sometimes it's like too low or too high, it doesn't read it, and if it's too high, it doesn't read it, it rams the E3D into the heat bed, and we have all sorts of problems, right? So the best, the perfect solution is going to be a zero offset. The zero offset meaning using the E3D itself, the nozzle itself as the probe. So back in the day when I had the deltas over there, one of the things I was going to do was retrofit it for FSR. So um, FSR basically is force sensing. So when the pin the not the pin sorry when the nozzle hits the glass on the delta, the FSR sensor underneath the glass gets registered and it knows when it touches the glass. So um, I think I have a video of it. Basically, it does the 9-point probe, and I think there we go. There. Okay, would you? So that's the board. That translates the three signals into one output signal, and basically, I don't know if it shows. This one actually shows it. No way. So you actually what you're seeing is actually it goes lowers the E3D until it touches the plate, the FSR sensor underneath the plate, and it basically registers the this one's a better one. Yeah, you see this one a little bit better. It basically registers the pressure on the plate. See, like this is sensor there, so it basically senses on three places. Um, Go back. See, it touches. You can see the light flashing there. When it goes on the probe. So this is the same idea as a PZO, right? It's basically um, the um, instead of the sensor being on the bed, the sensor's on the hot end. So 6.5 dozen. If you ask me personally, I'd rather have it on the bed versus having it on the E3D. I want the E3D mount to be as sturdy as possible. I don't want some kind of like um, complicated electronics up at the top where the E3D is. So I'd rather have it down low where I can actually control it. The other one is the BL Touch, and the BL Touch is a little bit different beast because basically what's happening with the BL Touch is that an actual probe hits the glass. So if you guys want to go with glass, you don't have to go with the metal surface for it to read the distance. Basically, the little probe pops out when the power is applied to it, and it triggers a micro switch inside. So that works as well. So I mean, there's seven different ways of getting the bed leveling. On the um, on a cube, I think you're probably gonna end up with BL Touch, mainly because um, as one of the options. The other one is going to be the Pinder replacement I found. But oh yeah, so um, I got these. They look like Pinders that are black, but the problem is that you see they're really long, and the thread is M10, not M8, so it's going to be a problem. Um, we need a new mount made for this. So I got 10 of these, and if anybody wants to take the effort to test, number one, test to make sure they work with the MK42. Second is take the effort to modify the mount. I'll send you one to play around with. So if you have time, you want to test, you want to play around with it, hit me up on direct message and on Mattermost, and I will mail you one with a bunch of other stuff that I have later on, like extruder springs. Like I got it, I think I have it somewhere. Got like 100 of them. So I'll send those with the probe. You guys could go around, play around, and see if you get working. That's pretty much the last missing piece, right? The rainbow you get from Multi Machine, and K43 clone you get from Mag and myself. You get the sensor working. The motors, we have the info for motors from AliExpress or RoboDig, whichever one you want to go with. You don't need to source anything on Pooza anymore. I mean, like, he's jacked the price $150 and gave all sorts of reasons, believe it or not. I don't, so I'm probably going to be going self source, then just go with like, self source haribo from now on, and no loss to me. So let's go with that. What else are we talk about? that's it. I don't want like I really don't want to kind of try to push too far and try to find the things to talk about. I think it's a good time to end it here. Um, Let me know how well the audio is working with the pop filter. I mean, if it's working better or worse. If you can hear me better. Um, and the camera, I decided not to use the FaceTime camera on the laptop. This is 920. The this one here is a 930. I'm gonna get another 930 for the other printer. So basically, if I started printing again, you'll see two 930s on the printer and a 920 facing me. Oh yeah, I remember. Last thing, one more thing. I feel like Steve Jobs here now. Me and Les is working on printing OpenRC Truckee. This one. So it's a fairly old design, 2013, but we want to kind of go with something we play outside. So I think the Truggy is a good thing to print. So we're gonna be working on that, and we'll keep you guys updated. We're gonna probably uh, as we print, we'll go and show you guys what changes we make or what material we use. But the Truggy is pretty sick. Like I'm gonna go with this one. Yeah, like that's pretty sick, eh? So, um, it, the nice thing about it is that everything is printed. The diff, everything is printed. Because I was just showing the guys, you know, it's, you don't have to buy it anymore. Like you just print it off. So, he has all these other designs, right? Like um, he has F1, which is the latest one he's working on. Is F1, the quadcopter. Um, if you guys are into like touring car, if you guys are into railroad, the RC, like not RC, but model railroad, I think. I don't know if he showed it on here. I think open railroad. I'll find it. It's a protocol open railroad. It's you can print your locomotives and your freight cars and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Like I'd rather do something that moves and does that versus like just printing like tiles. Um, I think it's not my intention to go direct head to head with the Thursday stream with Bean. I mean, we serve two different markets. He has his following. I have you guys from MM, so it's not like I picked Thursday on purpose. But Tuesday and Thursday are usually my free days of the week, and make it works for me to stream those 2 days. So yeah, the next one's gonna be on Tuesday. If you guys have any topics you want me to cover, like I said, send me a message. It's like it's approaching 9:10 right now. I think I'm gonna call it and kind of go from here. I'll be back on chat with you guys. Hope to see you there. Okay, see ya.